بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي رب زدني علما. That Atikah bint Nafil radiallahu ta'ala anhuma, we are reading the fifth Sahabiyah of Islam during the early years of Islam. Women encouraged their husband to go forward for the cause of Islam. These women, like their men, were courageous, strong, and thoroughly ready to give all for the sake of the truth. The Sahabiyat had personalities which cannot be scoffed at. Here is a story of one of such of the early women of Islam. Atikah bint Amir ibn Nafil was one of the most beautiful women of was beautiful woman of Quraysh. She married Abdurrahman ibn Abi Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhuma, who was extremely fearful of Allah, handsome and considerate of his parents. Abdurrahman was very much in love with Atika. One day his father passed by and visited him in his house. When he saw how taken his son was with Atika, he advised him to divorce her, as she had run away with his reason and overcome his senses. Abdurrahman told his father that he was not able to do it. His father said, I adjure you to do so. Since Abdurrahman was not humanly able to oppose his father, he divorced his wife. However, after the divorce, became extremely unhappy and even stopped eating and drinking. When Abu Bakr went to him one day, but his son did not even notice him. He realized that his son was totally devastated by the divorce. The Rahman was lying in the sun reciting the following verses. I swear by Allah that I will never forget you as long as the sun rises and as long as the ring-necked dog calls. I cannot imagine one such as me divorcing one like her, nor one like her being divorced without any reason. She is Caste, religious and noble. She had a balanced personality and logical mind. After hearing this, Abu Bakr advised his son to take her back. Abdurrahman obeyed his father and they were reunited. Atika remained with him until he was killed by an arrow out while out with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the day of Taif. Atika later married Umar during his Khalifa. Their union ended with his death at the hands of an assassin. Some time passed, and then Az-Zubair ibn al-Awwam radiallahu ta'ala anhu proposed to her and subsequently married her. It was Atika's custom to leave the house so that she could pray in the mosque. Az-Zubair was possessive. It upset him to see her leaving the house to pray in the mosque. He appealed to her to stop, but he saw no reason to give up praying in the mosque in which she had prayed behind the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Abu Bakr and Umar Azubair knew that she should not forbid her from praying in the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mosque, because he knew the hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ had said, do not forbid Allah's female slaves attending his mosque. So one night when she went out to the mosque, Zubair hid himself in a place where she couldn't see him, and she passed he hit at her. After that incident, she decided not to go out to the mosque anymore. He would say to her, aren't you going out, Atika? She would reply, I used to go out to pray when people and they didn't want to harm anyone, but now I will not go. Then Az-Zubair was murdered and then subsequently married Muhammad ibn Abu Bakr, who was killed in the Egypt. At this point, she declared that she would never marry anyone else after him for fear that he too would be martyred. She once said, "If I were to marry all the inhabitants of the earth, they would all be killed." She was given the affectionate name Zawjah al-Shuhada, the wife of the martyrs. Was the fourth Sahabiyah that we read today. Fifth, sorry.